Hey guys, Charlie from Olympics or Bust here. How you doing? You're probably asking yourselves, Charlie, you're such a big dork. Why are you wearing this Cookie Monster fleece in your winter clothes when it's clearly another 90-degree day in November in Los Angeles? Well, I happen to have a great reason. First of all, I am a dork when it comes to anything Olympics, as you all know. And second of all, the Vancouver Games are exactly 100 days away, so it's time to start prepping in whatever way possible. Before we get started, I want to make sure that we're not glazing over at least one important Olympic issue. As we all found out the hard way, having these and this doesn't mean the IOC is going to prefer these over this. Tyler and I, being native Midwesterners, were obviously totally disappointed and shocked that the Olympics weren't awarded to Chicago for 2016. However, by now it's kind of Olympic water under the bridge, so let's move on to present day. Just a few days ago, the Vancouver torch was first lit in one of the most ancient of Olympic traditions. I'm sure you all know how it goes, but just in case, here's a little recap. So basically, the Greek priestesses, who obviously dress like this every day, gather in ancient Olympia and call on the god of Apollo to direct the sun's rays in a perfect way to light their shiny copper bowl. Then they hand the flame over to a Greek athlete, in this case Demetriadis, and give him the sacred olive branch, release a dove. Then the torch begins its journey to Vancouver, where it will complete a 100-day lap across all of Canada. Once it gets there, the main cauldron will be lit at the opening ceremony in Vancouver, which we will be there to cover for you. But in the meantime, we decided to cover for you from both coasts, LA and Boston, what our top 5 things are that we're excited for Vancouver 2010. So here goes. For me personally, number 1 is super crazy mascots. Through the years, we've seen some more traditional mascots for the Winter Games, such as Sarajevo's Vuchko the Snow Wolf in '84, Calgary's adorable polar bear siblings Howdy and Heidi in '88, and of course the Salt Lake Games in '02 brought us Powder the Hare, Copper the Coyote, and Cole the Black Bear. This year, the folks at Vancouver, apparently running out of traditional animals to use, decided to get a little bit more creative with fictional ones. Here we have Quatchy the Sasquatch, who's a bit of a Harry and the Hendersons meets Grimace from McDonald's. Naturally, I already have my own Quatchy that my friend Scott picked up for me. Stuffed animal here. Say hey, Quatchy. Hey there, how you doing? Go Olympics or bust. And for our other mascot, we have my personal favorite, Miga, who, get this, is apparently what happens when an orca whale gets trapped in evolution before evolving into a bear, thus creating the sea bear. Not sure what that's all about, but either way, we're looking forward to what's bound to be a very creative Vancouver Olympics. The number 2 thing I'm really excited about Vancouver 2010, red mittens. Let me explain. So in Beijing, we found out that Olympics aren't just about the sports, they're also about fashion. And with the Winter Games, we've got another layer, if you will, which are accessories. Perfect example. So back in 2002, my friends and I drove to Salt Lake City for the Winter Games with literally $10 in our pocket. We knew we had to come up with some way to be able to buy tickets. So we discovered what ended up being our own Olympic gold, those Roots berets that the athletes wore at the opening ceremony. They became a huge collector's item, and we would take turns literally waiting in line all day. Then we'd trade them for tickets to huge events, and sometimes we even had to come up with some very creative outfits in order to help push our sales. This Olympics, it seems the craze are these red mittens.
This winter, keep warm and show your Olympic pride with a pair of official Vancouver 2010 red mittens. Everyone is wearing them.
Everyone, including Quatchy and Miga. So really, you should be too. Number 3 thing I'm really excited about Vancouver, teaching people about obscure winter sports. Now, I'm not talking about your standard skating and skiing and hockey. I'm talking about the sports where if I were to start training today, I could probably become an Olympian.
Curling will sweep you up in action.
Exercise.
Good time.
And a world of new friends.
On the ice.
And off it.
Curling! Get swept up in the fun!
One of my favorite things about curling is the commentary. The skip brings the hammer. He doesn't want to leave this one too thin. Nice rock. Oh, he's got good line. Down the sheet it comes. This one's got a good chance. There it goes. There it goes. Past the hog line, into the house. A double takeout. Another one of my favorite obscure sports, the bobsled.
Always remember, your bones will not break in a bobsled. No. They shatter.
Who's a sport?
People are always afraid of what's different.
Courage.
Cool Runnings!
Okay, that movie may have made it look a little bit fun, but I can assure you, having to watch bobsledding in person, it goes by a little bit faster. And finally, we have biathlon, which is an interesting combo sport of cross-country skiing and rifle shooting of all things. Interesting little fact, biathlon actually originated in an exercise for Norwegian soldiers as an alternative training for the military, and they still tend to dominate this sport. Best of luck to all our American biathletes. Hey man, number 4, partying athletes, dude. And by that I mean those athletes that tend to care a lot more about their pastimes than their actual sports. Perfect example is Bodie Miller, who's made more headlines for partying than for skiing, but recently announced last month he's returning for his 3rd Olympics. I, for one, am excited to see him at both the slopes and the bars. 2-time Olympian and 5-time medalist Apollo Ono, who's recently discovered another career on Dancing with the Stars. Shaun White, who's done every snowboard commercial under the sun, but gotta support the fellow redheads, even if they're redder than me. The ladies of winter, Lindsey Vonn, Lindsay Jacobellis, and even Border Kelly Clark. I would say they've all spent a little too much time on the red carpet and not enough time on the slopes lately. And last but definitely not least, here's Johnny. Check this out in case you didn't see it. Poker face, poker face. Oh, sorry. And finally, folks, the number 5 thing I'm excited for Vancouver is mastering the Canadian accent, Now, no matter what, it's going to be a lot better than Beijing, where we couldn't even speak the language, but at least I got some practice with my Minnesota accent, yeah. It's going to be a little bit different, though. Like, you got to say things like, you going out and about to Holland House, and Vancouver instead of Vancouver, and are the Russians playing against the U.S.? I don't know, Alright, I gotta work on that a little bit. But that's it for me for now, so signing off. That's how Charlie sees it. And I'm going to turn over to Tyler now for his own top 5. I don't know what he's going to talk about, but I'm just going to take a stab in the dark and guess it might have something to do with this subject.
I'm like inspired. I'm like, Vancouver's a year and a half away.
Because you know you've got something you want. I mean, you've won a silver and a bronze.
There's one thing missing. I haven't closed any doors yet, so I've got to make that decision soon.
Yeah, you're gonna make. So you're thinking about it. You're actually thinking about it.
I'm
which
actually
is awesome.
thinking about it.
We would all love to see you to win gold.
See you guys in Vancouver.